Welcome to Sound Bites. I'm your host, Jennifer Chandler, and I'm here with Lauren Young, the founder of Sweet Lala's Bakery. And they have an exciting new fundraiser they are involved with that we can't wait to tell you about. Sound Bites is the Daily Memphian's weekly food, drink, and dining podcast. You can tune in on WYXR Radio every Thursday at 11 a.m. or listen wherever you get your podcast, iTunes or Spotify, or listen at dailymemphian.com. If you are listening on WYXR, up next you can listen to The Sidebar with Eric Barnes. Thank you, Lauren, for being here on Soundbites to talk all things cookies and making life sweeter, which is your tagline, isn't it?
Yes, it is. We love to say we like to make life sweeter one day at a time.
So it's such a great mission and such a great thing. I'm sitting here and as we're talking, I'm enjoying one of your seasonal beverages. It is the, what did you call it?
The iced peach tea refresher that we use with the My Cup of Tea peach tea. And then my team adds a cold foam to the top.
And I have to tell everyone listening, I mean, on a hot summer day, just swing by here. It's at the corner of Poplar and Ridgeway and get one of these things. It is the most delightfully refreshing, peachy, citrusy iced tea I've ever had. I just had to say, because I normally think about you as sweet treats, not your coffee bar, but you really we're not going to go too much on that because we have so much other things to talk about.
Absolutely.
But your coffee bar has really upped the game. You just won
yes,
a
Edible
contest.
Memphis hosts the Champion Sip, and 16 companies were all in the running, and we won the entire thing with our iced edible, well, we called it the iced glazed lemon latte.
Yeah, that sounds so good. I've had the sugar cookie chai tea latte too.
Yeah,
oh my gosh,
absolutely
so good.
good.
So just know when you pick up your sweet treat to pick up your tea or coffee as well when you're making your plans to come by here. So first I want to talk about something that's this news that you had that you were telling me about is so exciting because you're going to be taking Sweet Lala's far outside of Memphis.
Yes, we are so excited. We had a huge opportunity come our way a couple of months ago, and Love's Travel Stop has selected our business to be the fundraiser cookie for the entire month of September. So if you are traveling on Labor Day weekend and heading out somewhere fun in September, a box of cookies should be sitting on the counter at every Love's Travel Stop, 648 locations across the United States. And we are so excited.
Wow, 648 locations.
Yes.
That's a lot of cookies. I mean, how many cookies will you be baking for this?
23,400. 36 to a box and shipping them all over so that they'll be in place when the fundraiser kicks off. And every one of the purchased cookies benefits the local Children's Miracle Network in that neighborhood or in that area of town. So for us, it's Le Bonheur Children's Hospital. So we are really thrilled it's going to impact our own city as well.
Did you ever think that you would be making this many cookies at one time?
I would say this has always been the dream. So we will be 10 this December 1st. So it's the perfect year to be kind of picked up and found this way. So we're thrilled, certainly anxious because there's a lot that goes into just the operational planning of a big order such as this. But this is definitely a dream come true to be able to be selected.
What cookie are you making? Are you doing an assortment or are you doing the original? Which one are you doing?
We're doing the sugar cookie. So just because of nut allergies or any other situation, we didn't want to put something out there and reduce the risk of buying. So we wanted to have something that everyone can enjoy. So it's our sugar cookie with a little sprinkle that has yellow jimmies on it and then some white jimmies on it, and then a great little custom sticker that tells you when you pick up this cookie, the entire proceeds benefits the area hospital.
Your sugar cookies.
So divine.
They're
right?
so divine and tasty. And you decorate them so cutely.
We can do some really
sitting
fancy.
Here right now. Natalie Van Gundy, who is our producer, has picked up a cookie for her son that is a soccer ball, and it is it's so cutely wrapped,
right?
Too.
Yeah. We really feel like our cookies are just a gift and the edible gift, that you can really enjoy. But it's perfect for teachers going back to school. My team does a great job designing all sorts of things, sports seasons and holiday seasons, all the things.
Your sugar cookie. Let's talk about that, and then we're going to get into the original Sweet Lala's cookie. But so your sugar cookies, what do you think makes them so unique? Because they're flavorful and they're the right texture.
I do love the texture. We have the perfect recipe. That's really the bottom line. I think what I laugh about how this whole thing came to be was I was given a recipe in Nashville by someone who worked at the bank with my husband. And this stock recipe is what I've used to just infuse flavors and try new things. But there's just this perfect balance of butter and sugar and vanilla. And if you can get that right, it makes for the nice, super soft bite.
You have a home run. When you're baking this many cookies, are you just going to bake for like 2 to 3 days straight around the clock? How do you do? I mean, can you even do it in your bakery here? Because your bakery here is small.
Well, we are lucky. We actually have a product that we think tastes better when it's frozen because it can essentially condensate and create and trap that moisture even more in the cookie. So we have started baking already and we don't have enough on-site storage. So one of our would-be competitors, but we adore all things sweet and lovely, Sugar Avenue has an amazing cake program. They do cakes for Memphis and cakes all over shipping. They have cold storage. So we've been able to borrow and beg for space and supplies. So what I love about a project like this is when everybody comes together to work together.
I love this story. The Crenshaw family is
they're wonderful.
Such a wonderful family. I was friends with Ed Crenshaw, bless his soul. He passed away about a year ago, but he was the founder of it, and his children are now running it.
Yeah, so Clay's, who we're spending time with, and did not realize that was part of the business that they had, and kind of did a cold call looking around for storage, and so grateful to land with Sugar Avenue. So they've been helping us keep the cookies perfect and off-site so that we can bring it back on and ice everything as we start to ship out next week.
Why did you decide to do the yellow and white? Does that have to do with the Children's Miracle Network that I should know that and I don't?
It is a little bit of both. That is part of their actual logo colors. They have a balloon and a heart, and then Love's also has yellow and red in there. So we were able to kind of combine both colors in what they wanted.
When it comes today, you are going to be doing lots of boxes.
Yes.
So this is like an all hands on deck project.
This is why I love to tell beautiful stories when people rally for great things that happen. I've been so fortunate to have friends and family who all want this to be a successful partnership with Love's. And so we tonight are prepping boxes. So we have 648 boxes that have to be taped and folded and sealed in all the right ways, stickers to put on cello bags. And we have an army of people coming up tonight to help us get all of the materials prepped so that we can ship out for next week.
And I love that story because one of the things about Sweet Lala's is that it was started to help the community. But we're going to get to that in just a minute. You're listening to the Daily Memphian Soundbites with me, Jennifer Chandler. Today we're talking with Lauren Young, the founder of Sweet Lala's Bakery. If you're tuning in on WYXR, keep listening for the Sidebar with Eric Barnes after this. If you're listening through your podcast app, be sure to subscribe. You can also find other Daily Memphian podcasts, The Sidebar with Eric Barnes about art, culture, and more, Grizzlies Pod with Drew Hill and Chris Harrington, Behind the Headlines Podcast Edition, On the Record, an occasional political podcast with Daily Memphian Bill Dries. Tell us about how Sweet Lala started.
We have a pretty unique beginning, I would say. I was baking out of my house for a lot of years, loved to be able to get messy in the kitchen. And when I came to Memphis, I came, as I mentioned before, with a wonderful recipe that was just a great stock recipe that I could use to build out new flavors. And so I was baking for friends and family, and I wanted to do something more as a business, but I was also trying to start my own family. So I ended up having the opportunity after I had my firstborn to partner up with a local juvenile intervention center. And they kept talking about how kids needed jobs to be successful. And I was starting to grow my family and not able to fulfill all the orders that I was doing out of my house. And we partnered up with this juvenile intervention program to provide jobs and training and workforce development for young kids who are trying to escape a life of crime. So it was really fascinating to see the interest in being able to tell a story differently for those kids, but also use a product to tell a story of change. And that's really what we kind of founded the company out of.
I mean, it is such a beautiful story. I know I interviewed you way back when you were still working there. And, in hearing the stories about the lives you changed by giving these kids skills that they probably never would have had, and the intention too.
Right.
I think that's a big part of it is giving these people, showing that people can have confidence in them and believe in them and believe in their futures. It's really a wonderful story.
Well, and I found that baking became that metaphor. So as we all know, hard things happen in life and you get tested and put through the fire. And what I love is when you roll and pound dough and then you put it through an oven, it comes out as something completely different, but so much more purpose. And so I love being able to bring that storyline into the bakery. So we really want to we say we rise together and work together. And I think that's really what we saw with the work of the juvenile detention facility. Being able to partner up in a really unique way allowed for the city to kind of respond in a different way. And then as we fast forward, came into this building and we'd outgrown the space downtown, we really ended up picking up new partners that are doing other wonderful work in town, but with a social enterprise aspect. So they're using a product to tell their story of change.
Yeah. Can you remind me which year you opened this location that we're sitting in right now, which is in the Regalia Shopping Center, which is at the corner of Poplar and Ridgeway. In East New Memphis.
Yes, we are very happy to be here in this location. We have been here, this will be year 6 in this location. In 10 years, December 1st, we're going to celebrate with a lot of sales and opportunities and fun things for the whole week of that first week of December, because we've been with the guy that I brought over from the Jif facility. He's been with me celebrating to his 10-year anniversary with me too, John Young.
That's amazing.
And we were lucky enough to have a video made of our story last year through Mary Beth Conley and some things that she was picking up. But John has made me really proud. He's made his family proud. And we just want to be sure that we continue to tell those stories of change.
Yes, I mean, it's so inspirational, to say the least. The original Sweet Lala's cookie that you started with is a different kind of cookie. It's kind of like what did you describe it as, a tea cookie?
Well, we always kind of consider them like tea cakes because they are a little soft and they are real buttery. And this one has the hint of almond. So we call it the original because it was the recipe that was originally given to me. And it's the stock recipe that I used to develop everything else out of. But we think it really tastes like a memory. There's something about that cookie. So many customers come in and they start to talk about remembering being in their grandmother's kitchen or somewhere back home where they are from, that takes them and kind of transports. And I think that's what the amazing thing food has the ability to do, is really transport you.
I agree. I mean, that there's something about that almond extract. And it's just a hint of it. It's not overwhelming, but when you taste it, it brings you back memories of, I think it was something that our grandmothers always cooked with. It probably had to do with the fact that it was, probably an inexpensive ingredient.
Probably
it added flavor. It's just a really, it's
and
very
that's
nostalgic.
What's so great. John on my team, he's our cookie manager, and he literally has his hands on every cookie that's ever been produced out of our facilities. But his consistency, as we know, baking is a bit of an art. There are days the humidity affects us and the moisture or temperature, and John just seems to know how to manage exactly how to make that cookie just perfect. And we're really particular. If anything gets too brown, we just can't use it. And we want these cookies to be really soft and delicious and take you back to a special time.
One of my favorite variations of this cookie, because I am confessed to all of y'all, a chocoholic. The chocolate version of this, a cookie meets a brownie. It is so good.
I have to say, I love brownies, and because we were building a cookie business, I didn't feel like I could sell brownies. So that recipe is mine, and I feel really proud of that one because it is really the mega of all mega, just great, delicious chocolates, the Ghirardelli and the Hershey's explosion coming together.
It hits every note perfectly. So what other flavors do you guys have? Because you have several flavors now.
Yeah, we had a lot of flavors. I think what's interesting is you run a business like this, anytime you put something new, you kind of compete with what people love, even in your own place. So we have run seasonal flavors. We've done things with the Bluff City toffee. So we put their toffee in the cookie and then sprinkle it on top.
And let's give them a shout out. People
Yes.
who don't know their story.
Absolutely.
Stephanie Upshaw, who is a Memphian, created this. It was using her grandmother's recipe, if I think so.
I think that sounds right, yeah.
And just divine toffee that uses milk chocolate and southern pecans. It's really an interesting recipe, but she sold it to the Madonna Learning Center.
Yes,
and
I love
it's
it.
run by the Madonna Learning Center kids
right
now, and they produce it, they sell it, they're packaging it. It has become a place where these kids are able to, with special needs, are able to take ownership of a business.
Right.
When you take a bite, it's super sweet and wonderful. And then you think about the loving hands and the people's lives it's changing. It makes it even sweeter.
Oh, it's so good. And we are fortunate to have a work internship program. So Madonna Center participants come here once a week when they're back in season for school. And then we have hired 2 on staff. So now we have 2 that come on 2 different days to help with our baking team or our packaging team. So we really, that's part of the way we started the company, working inside the Juvenile Intervention Center. We're trying to continue to extend employment. What we say for the hard to employ, because sometimes you have to make different and necessary concessions so that you can keep everyone on track and have everyone have a successful work experience. And we've just loved that Madonna has partnered up with us in that way so that we can not only sell their products on our shelves, but really help them build their community of work too.
Tell us more about more flavors. I've got a little sidetrack
there. So we've had a tropical one where we infuse it with an oil, that pina colada taste. That usually comes out in our spring season. And then one of the real surprising fan favorites, and it smells amazing when you pop the tin open at Christmas, but it's our peppermint chocolate. Oh, it's so good. And it's so pretty with that little topping of red and white on that dark chocolate backdrop. It's not only just great on the eyes, it's just delicious, and it makes the entire kitchen smell like Christmas. So we love when that one's on the menu.
And you have cookies available for sale in your case
yes,
every day.
So we laugh. We call the affordable line is always available. So we have those, and then we keep our store sale designs that are that hand-piped, a much more expensive product to produce. But we have them available every day. And then we also have pretty much ton of availability for custom orders. We, even though we don't have the space to show off all the wonderful work, we do amazing birthday cakes, wedding cakes, and really beautiful private party cookies for events like baby showers and any types of anniversaries. So it's wild what we can do and produce out of this one little space.
I know, and it's such a good story because, I mean, you started with this one base cookie, and now you do so much. I have to give you a shout out because in the fall season, and I don't know if you're planning on doing it again there this year, but you have my favorite pumpkin treat in town. Hopefully you'll do a version of it.
We're doing a version. We are going to change it up on you a little bit, but it's going to be delicious.
Well, if you ever happen to see, if they have the cream cheese stuffed pumpkin muffins on the menu, oh my Lordy, they're so good. And you also have one of my favorite king cakes.
Yes.
In Mardi Gras season.
Yes, we do. That season has become so fun for us. We love that season. It's this delicious bread that you kind of knot and roll and pour all of this yummy sugar all over the top. And
some people skimp on the cream cheese.
Yeah.
You do not skimp on the cream cheese inside. It's so good.
Our policy is go big or go home. When you see our cinnamon rolls and you see our icings, we really have a lot on it, but it is what makes the day sweeter.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit too. And you kind of mentioned it about, having partnerships with other organizations here in Memphis, because you have a little marketplace within your shop that features a lot of really great products.
Yes.
So you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I believe in Memphis. I love this town. I was born and raised here, and you see so many people creating delicious foods and products. So not only do we have kind of the social enterprise line where we work with Bluff City, as we've already talked about, but we have My Cup of Tea, who is working inside of Orange Mound and have a really unique opportunity. They're building out some housing there adjacent to their tea house. And we have Jared, Shotwell's caramels.
Shotwell Candy Company.
Yes,
those caramels. I mean, I don't know how he makes small batch caramels. That's probably how he does it. They're almost like pillowy, soft,
so good.
And they're chewy, but they're not like so chewy that they're hard to eat. Does that make sense? It's like the perfect caramel, and he does kind of fun, creative flavors like you do too.
And he ships all over the United States and has built his partnership. So we feel really lucky. And then, of course, we have some just favorites like Central barbecue sauce, because we're really lucky to be in this location around so many hotels, and people come to visit Memphis and stay in this neighborhood. So they get to find out about other great Memphis restaurants or Memphis products by shopping our shelves.
Well, you know, they're right across, their East Memphis location is right across the street. We need to start a campaign that they carry your cookies for dessert by back and forth.
Well, we like to say when we're closed, we're actually open in other places because we do have to shut down our operations and give our people some breaks. I think that's one of the things with bakeries. You're usually up early and you need to shut down, but we've been lucky enough with our vendors and partners who carry our products on hours that we're closed that you can usually find us a cookie if you're really craving one. And they all offer either Uber Eats or DoorDash, so that's another bonus.
What are some of the stores that carry your cookies?
So we are with Miss Cordelia's and we are with City Silo. We're real excited. They're expanding their other location out East Memphis. And we have been at Central Barbecue. And
you are at Central Barbecue?
Yes, we already are the Memphis location.
Everybody, we can just settle down. We don't need to start a campaign. They're already there.
We're there in the South Haven location. And then we have had limited partnerships with a couple of other places, sometimes more seasonally based on the things that and Novel. Novel is, of course, one of our lovely partners because we know so many people go, visit there to get the great food, but also the books and the fun with grandkids. So we have cookies and crispy treats stocked there.
Yeah, and in addition to some of the food products you carry in the marketplace, you have some cool kind of artisan gifts. There's a pottery line.
Yes, so Shepherd's Haven is operating inside of Bellevue Baptist, but they offer a day program and a residential program for individuals with disabilities. And their day program, a big part of what they do is have their participants pick the colors or do stamps, and they fire pottery and clay, and it's amazing. They make beautiful, beautiful pieces, and it's one of my favorite times to shop their shelves, just to go talk with all the participants. They're really proud of the work, but we do Christmas ornaments and we do trays. Our kind of goal is to create anything beautiful for the food and for the table, so food and table gifts are just super important to us, and Shepherd's Haven is one that we just really love to be able to support what they do, and all of the proceeds go back to their program.
Yeah, it's really kind of fun when you come shopping in here because one, you can get, as I mentioned in the beginning, make sure you get yourself a libation, a beverage from the coffee bar, and then you can get yourself a sweet treat, and then you can do a little shopping for a friend or what I mostly do for myself. I have a question for you, which is, I know I ask people this all the time, and I know it's the meanest question in the entire world because it's like, who's your favorite child? If you had one thing to order in here, what would you order?
Oh, that's actually very easy because it is the chocolate cookie for me. The dense one, and I think because there's pride in making up a recipe. I think what we realize as bakers that you don't get a lot of recipes right, but when you get one really right, you're so excited about that. So for me, our triple chocolate is what hands down I'd want to eat any given day. And then I'd probably dip it in cream cheese if I could. But the cream cheese icing that this team created is like hands down the best cream cheese ever.
I think for like the holidays, you might need to do a version that is almost like becomes like a snow on top of the
we could do
and top of the cookie. I'm kind of like, and then you could put some peppermints on top of that.
Yes.
I'm kind of like brainstorming right here.
We'll take all ideas.
Can I be a taste tester?
Yes, absolutely. We can do a whole tray of everything and you can tell us what's best.
I would love that. You have your tagline, "Make Life Sweeter." Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
You have it hanging on the side of your building, and it just, in the side of your shop.
Yes, with our rolling pins.
It's such a cute display. If you wanted to offer words of advice for anyone in life or starting a business like this about, having that kind of philosophy, what would you suggest?
Well, I think what I have found is that people want kindness. And when we built this place, I really built it with a purpose in mind that said we want to make sure that anybody who walks through the threshold or orders our product feels loved or feels known. We know that there are really hard days and a lot of things seem out of our control. And what I've noticed about customers is a lot of customers come through, and I tell my team a lot of times, don't always pick up what they're dropping at the counter. There's some things that people come in with baggage, but let's just help them sort through what's going on. And I think what I found being in a bakery space is we make really good food, but a lot of people are here for connection, and food is the connector to that either emotion or to that friend or to that moment. And so I think when you build a business, whatever it is, you got to love what you do because it is hard work. It's the hardest work I've ever done. But if you do it with the right spirit and the right intent, the people show up for you. And I've been really excited with my employees particularly. I have the best group of employees that keep sticking around and staying for years. And it's hard for me to believe that we'll be 10 years old, that anybody would have stayed long enough for this dream, but it's really amazing.
It's such a special story, and this is such a special place. So that's all the time we have for now. You can tune in on WYXR Radio every Thursday at 11 a.m. or listen wherever you get your podcasts, iTunes or Spotify, or listen at dailymemphian.com. Lauren, thank you for being here with us today, and thanks for making life sweet for Memphians.